Okay, so today I'm going to try to finish the backside of our sheds. You'll notice a bunch of wood and bricks and rocks. We've been having a problem in Southern California with a lot of rats. They're fruit rats. But we put up these sheds a couple of years ago, and we put them up. My husband and I, we did this whole wood platform and lined it with brick, and it's got landscape fabric, and there is some space, obviously some space right here. Well, about a year ago we started seeing a lot of rats running around, and they started going underneath the shed. So this is the last side I have to do, but this is what I've done so far. I take out all the stones, and then I put in the 1/2-inch fencing, and I'll do a segment shortly. I'll add on to this video. I do about 6 inches, a little bit shorter depending on how much of a gap we have here. But this is about 6 inches, and it goes down about 2 inches and then over to the edge. And I use landscape staples, putting it down into the ground about every 5 or 6 inches. And then I have the staple gun that I'm putting this around the whole edge. And they have tried to get in the past few days. I'll come out and there'll be a whole bunch of stones on the walkway. But they haven't been able to get underneath because now there's fencing. Well, this is just what I came up with to prevent them from getting underneath the sheds. Okay, so this section I've already done. And I already did this section. So now we're back around. And this is the section I'm going to try to finish today. And then all these bricks, they're going to be a walkway to the composter. It's going to be that composter right there. So we'll be doing a walkway. I've just been laying the bricks out just to put them out there. I don't know what pattern I'm going to use. Okay, so I'll get set up to start the other side. This is the weed barrier that I've been using. You could have either side. The original one we used when we put the sheds up was just all black. So when I got this to fill in any areas around the edge, I got the two-sided color. So I've been keeping the brown side up. I got this from Lowe's. It's 3 feet wide, 50 feet long. And then this is the fencing that I've been using. It's 24 inches wide. So I use, I'll cut like 5-foot strips and then break it down into 6-inch sections. So I can do up to four strips. And as I get around to the other side today, I probably only have to cut about 4-inch tall strips, because the edging that we had around the back over by the wall it's not this wide, it's about 1 inch. So I just have to put down about 1 inch, and this is 2 inches. I've been putting 2 inches up all the way around. So I'll probably only need about 4 inches. I don't remember what, let's see, the sheds are their lifetime. This one here is 15 feet by 8 feet. Let's see, try to come back. Sorry, I have this on a little tripod because I'm going to be putting it down on the ground. This one's 15 by 8, so 15 wide, 8 feet back, And this one here is also 8 feet wide, but it's 12 feet long, and the entrance is on the other end. And these are total underfoot or under the roof is about, it's under 200 square feet under roof, because the actual, you don't multiply 8 by 15 because it's going to be less, you know, because of the roof. And then we have the space in between. And right now I just have this here because the rats were going in between. But we wanted to maximize the airflow underneath. And that's one of the reasons I'm using this fencing, so we can still have some air going underneath. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get everything over on the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm at this very corner that I need to get this side done before I head down that way. So what I do is I take away any wood or anything I've got blocking, dust everything off, and get out as many of the pebbles that we have, because the whole inside is underneath the sheds. It's covered with the landscape fabric and then stones, because you know, if it rains a lot, the water can drain out. There's a drain down toward the other end, so we can make sure that water drains out. Plus the rocks pretty much hold in the fabric with the staples, but I can't tell how, you know, how much the rats have disturbed things under there. Not very many stones have come out, so I think they're okay. Okay, so I'm going to clear all this out, and we'll see. I'm picking it up right here. See, so that's where I'm going to put a piece out to this corner, and then go back out that way. And then if we, let's see. So I do 2 inches. That's where this part right here is 2 inches. So I'll do 2 inches up, and let's see, it's about it's a little over 1 inch. So I'll fold over 1 inch, have 2 inches up. So I'll cut 4 inches. I'll cut 4 inches, and if I have to cut off another half-inch section of the fencing, that's what I'll do. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start that now. Okay, so each one of these squares is a 1/2 inch. So that's 1 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to cut 4 inches, and I leave the straight edge. So I'm going to cut off. I don't really want to fold it over because it'll get caught. I've tried it before. Folding over this, it ends up getting caught. So I just make a clean cut. So I'll just snip off. I snip off each of these sections. I had some other snippers, but these seem to work the best because they get the closest. So I'll snip all those off, and then I'm going to use about 4 inches. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll snip it off right here, all the way down. For this section, I'm only going to need a few inches. Let's see, I'm just going to be doing this section right here to finish up this side. So it's only just less than 1 foot. So that's what this section will be to the corner, and then I'll do 5-foot sections. I don't like to work with longer than 5-foot sections because this fencing gets pretty sharp. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that right now. Okay, so for that corner, I'm only going to need about 3 inches tall. One inch to fold up to fill in the space and cover with stones, and to staple down with the landscape staples. So we've got 1, 2, 3 inches. So I'm going to fold up this inch right here. Okay, so what I use is this vise here, and I'm putting it up to, I'm going to do this 1 inch, so I'm just going to fold it up. I'm trying to do this with one hand, and it's over 100 degrees today. Okay, so I'm just going to fold it over, and I'll go on to the next section. Let me open it up just a little bit too. Sorry about the movement. I don't have a tripod out here. I'm just using a little tabletop. And again, it's over 100 degrees, so it's kind of hot. Okay, so I'm folding that over. And this is going to become this section right here is going to become the area that gets filled in with stones after I use landscape staples to hold it down. So far it's working great, because I came out this morning and there were a bunch of stones pushed away from the outside of the sheds, but they didn't get underneath the fencing. We didn't think about this when we put the sheds up. I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3. We didn't really have that. I don't think we even saw any rats, but lately there's been a lot. We normally don't have that. We've been here 30 years, and only the past maybe couple of years we've seen a huge increase. This area is all hills, and then especially when it's summertime, we notice more. Okay, so it's gonna go like this up against the side of the shed. So I'm gonna take it over there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is stapling. I just overlap 1/2 inch section, and I'll start it just with one staple. And then I just give it a little tap, because these are 9/16 inch staples. So sometimes, depending on how soft or hard the wood is that is on that section, I might just tap in a little bit. Just grab a few more sections. Give those a tap. And so now we can see, this is where I'll put the staples. See how there's a staple right there? I've been putting them about every 5 or 6 inches. So that'll bring this down. It doesn't have to go all the way down to the bottom. It's just enough to hold this part down so they can't climb in, dig up. So I'll be putting some more staples. Like here, you can see I put them all along the top, all along here. And I'll just put a few just to secure it. Okay, so then I'll be cutting this, and I'll start heading down this way, and I hope I can get this done today. Okay, so I'm gonna staple in the fencing. That point, I use a board. And that puts it down inside. There's another. take the board and hammer it down in. And then I'll do one more right here before I get to the corner, because I need to overlap the corners. Okay, and one more whack with the wood here. And there we go. So now it's nice and snug, and I'll cover it with stones so they can't, if they're stuck under there, they can't get out. Hopefully they're out when I get this all done, but they can't dig back through here. Okay, so I'll start cutting the fencing to go this direction. Okay, it's all done. I got all the fencing attached to the very bottom of both sheds. And it's been 2 days, I think. I started about 4 days ago, and I finished it 2 days ago. These are the bricks. All these bricks right here. I've been just laying them out. They're going to be set down into the dirt to go over there to the composter. So they'll be set. They're going to be level with these, and then I'll probably do gravel over here, because that's what it is along the side of the shed and underneath it. Okay. So far so good. I come out in the morning and there'll be some stones that have been dug out, like along right in here, where you can see the fencing, where it comes up kind of like an L shape, but they haven't gotten underneath it. And then these bricks, I originally put these in mainly to encourage drainage, like from rain, to go out there to, there's a drain, like right over here. So these are standing bricks, so it does help with, directing any water, but it also makes a nice wall so critters can't dig, under it, because they're, you know how tall a brick is. They don't seem to go underneath that far. So anyway, if anybody else has that type of a problem with whatever critters you might have getting in under a workshop or a shed, just something to take into consideration. And the fencing worked really well because it's not like chicken wire, because rats for sure would be able to get in through the openings in chicken wire. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will work. If anything, I can add extra of the landscape staples, the 6-inch. I can just tuck them in, hammer them in as needed. But so far, I think I only added about 2 extra ones. Okay, so that's it.